Are you going to click go?
A second. I am not. I am not.
Hey,
I am not.
Shh.
Let's get the show started. Why can I hear the stream from you coming, sir? I would appreciate if you would lower the stream on your side there, sir. Yep, anytime soon now. At least it was not my technical expertise that did that. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Smoker Show. While Phil is trying to figure out his buttons, we want to welcome you to another episode. We did have to push back the episode to 1 week due to, once again, travel for me. I was up in New York last week on work, and Phil is still trying to figure out the buttons, but I will introduce him. Here's my co-host, Mr. Phil 𝗵𝗀. What's up, Phil?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
What are you doing, buddy? What's up with the mask?
Dude, did you hear your rant today?
Was it that bad?
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried, so I got protection in case like the screen blows up or something.
Do you need protection from me? You ain't got nothing to worry about me, buddy. It's all good.
Your rant was epic today. It was epic. I mean, it was so angry and so forceful and so passionate that I was concerned about my well-being tonight. So I figured I would wear the mask.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. You don't have anything to worry about. The people that I have with the beef is really pretty much everybody. Everybody except you. But it was a stressful day for me today. This kind of happened last minute, and I was called to go up to Nashville at the Capitol to testify at a hearing and meet with you're not gonna be able to drink that, buddy. I dare you to drink it through the mask, though. I dare you. It's good like that. Just pour it. Is it coffee?
Yeah, it's coffee. You know what? This is actually a mask from my friend's sister's son, who's really, really into hockey. He's like a serious hockey player, and you can't imagine the smell that I'm getting right now. It's really bad.
I'm surprised it fit your head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, believe me, my face is so squished right now. And when I remove the mask, I do have my brush here to take care of any hair damage that has occurred.
Just to clarify, while you're removing your mask, just to clarify, yes. I was really frustrated today from a combination of things. So since we're starting off like that, I didn't want to start off with a rant. I didn't want to start off in a bad mood, and I'm really not. I mean, I'm fine. This is not the issue. Sometimes the rants are just to fire up people and get people involved because we're losing. We're losing, man. We're losing. And I think people are giving up from consumers all the way up to the industry. I think people are giving up. I think that they think that we can't win this battle. And I've proven time and over again that we can win this battle, but you have to commit to it. If you're a consumer, you have to commit to it. If you're a vape shop, you have to commit to it. If you're a manufacturer, you have to commit to it. What really got me fired up today, Phil, and for those of you that are new to vaping and that are smokers looking to convert, just to kind of you guys understand the battle that we have, is that politicians are making laws because they're losing money from tobacco sales. Period. That's all it is.
That's it.
Okay, this is all it is. So the money that you spend as a smoker, which, by the way, if I tell you that almost 45% of the pack of cigarettes that you buy goes to your government. It might give you another reason to quit if it's not just your health. 45% on average here in the United States of a pack of cigarettes, the price goes to your local, state, and federal government. Okay? So since people are quitting smoking because vaping is great, vaping is kick-ass, and it's enjoyable, and it makes you quit smoking, the government is starting to panic. And the government is saying, well, we got to do something to make up for this revenue. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat vaping the same as smoking. We're going to treat it exactly the same. And those words actually came out of a senator's mouth today in Tennessee. It came out. We have to make this the same tax structure and definition as smoking.
Right.
So right off the bat, I'm upset as soon as I walk in because we haven't even started and she's trying to equate vaping to smoking. Then she says that there's a couple more issues that I want to address here because I did a lot of research on this. And trust me, folks, she's done absolutely no research. The first research she did is a week ago when I met with her in her office and explained to her that the bill that she's bringing is absolutely horrendous. So she says, I did a lot of research on this, and I found out that the nicotine that they use in these electronic smoking devices, as she calls them, comes from South America. So the reason why she brought this up was because in Tennessee, we have a lot of Republicans, and they believe in the farmers, and they believe in the tobacco growers, okay? So sometimes they bring it up as a reason for us not to overtax these products because they believe in the American farming. So in order for them not to use that excuse against her, she said, this nicotine comes from South America. And now listen, I'm no expert. I've seen a lot of drug movies, and the only thing I've seen to come out of South America is Coke and pot. That's the only two things I've seen. Mostly Coke, probably 90% of the world's supply. And I don't partake in either of those sports, to be honest with you. But I heard it's really good stuff. Top-notch quality. Pharmaceutical grade. So she says that. That gets me fired up. And I can't stand up. This is so it's real. I mean, my lobbyist was sitting next to me, and her husband is a vapor. He quit smoking with it. This is how she's really committed to the cause. But she's sitting next to me. She can tell my frustration. And she turns to me and she says, Dimitri, imagine being here every day like I am. This is how law is made in this country.
Yeah.
I can't stand up right there and in front. And I, to be honest with you, it would be really bad if I did it because I'll make it look really foolish. But just for you guys that are smokers or new vapors to understand that the majority, by magnitudes, the majority of nicotine that we use in our products comes from India or from China. And you're going to say, Dimitri, why? Tell me, Phil, why is our nicotine?
Why is
it coming from China and from India? That's what
probably because it's a lot cheaper.
Right. Well, number one, it's cheaper. Number two, there's a certain plant that we use to yield nicotine for our products, and that plant is called rustica. That plant takes 6-7 years to grow, but it yields up to 15 times more nicotine than your traditional tobacco plant. So what happens is that when we grow this plant, we can yield a lot of nicotine, chemical nicotine that we use, pharmaceutical grade, for vaping, which is a plant that can't be smoked. Can you imagine smoking a plant that contains 15 times more nicotine? It would drop you, right?
Right.
And the third reason is the climate. It needs a very, very humid, hot climate. And as people that have been to China multiple times, as me and Phil will tell you.
That is a hot, miserable climate, boy.
It's the beautiful climate to raise this plant. Yeah. So third thing that really, really upset me today, that got me really fired up, is the fact that these legislators that were on this hearing, I can tell they're frustrated with the senator, but also I can tell that they have the cameras on them. So when you're having a private conversation, they might understand you. But in a public setting, it's very hard for them to go against something that is being disguised as let's save the kids. Because this is what they toss at us. Let's save the kids. So in general, I was really fired up, and I wanted people to understand that these struggles, and it's not just me. I mean, look down in Florida, there's a hearing today. Up in New England, John Nathan with their group, they're in the Capitol. In Indiana, they're fighting a bill. It's not just me. There's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of good work, but it's a very minimal amount. It's a very minimal amount. And we're fighting against these big these big corporations feel. And this is why we're losing. We're not losing because it's destined for us to lose. We're losing because we're not putting our full 110% effort into fighting this.
Right, and I know you made the statement today. You know, like you were talking about like vapers. You know, not just companies, but vapers. Get off your ass. And
Sure.
you know, I understand that like everybody has to do something, and I agree with that. But I don't think it's the vapers necessarily that have to go to war. I think
agree.
they're part of it.
I agree.
Right, but I really think it's these big companies that are making a lot of money with vaping that should really pool some of this money together and do more good with it, as opposed to Instagram advertising.
Correct. So let me clarify exactly what I was trying to get across today. Maybe because I was really fired up, I didn't get it across.
And by the way, everybody, welcome to the Smoker Show. Don't worry, we're going to get to some good stuff.
Yeah, you started on me this, but I just want to clarify.
I know.
So what I'm trying to say is that obviously when it comes to funding a political fight, this is clearly a manufacturer vape shop fight. I'm not asking for the vapors to put any money into this. This is clearly a manufacturing and a vape shop responsibility. But as a consumer, meaning that you discovered vaping, you don't want to be taxed with an excise or what they call a sin tax because you quit smoking. You should get a reward tax because you're not going to cost the health system a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? You should get a tax cut. So as a consumer, what you should be doing is you should be contacting your legislators and say, hey, listen, I'm an adult. I am, 83 years old like Larry. And I quit smoking with vaping. And now, and I'm a senior citizen. And now you want to tax me for quitting smoking? This is unacceptable. I'm a constituent and I'm a voter. And if you're going to vote for this, I guarantee you I'm going to vote against you. This is what the consumer should be doing. They need to know how many people and how many adults use this. So when I was back in the senator's office, the other one, because we have one in the Senate and one in the House, what political system is so screwed up. But I'm in the House. I'm talking to the senator that's bringing the bill. And I try to tell him, I was like, listen, we don't want kids using these products. I'm with you. And we want to do everything we can as an association to help you achieve that. By taxing this product 5 cents per meal, you're actually giving the advantage to the product that the kids are using because the kids are using Juul. They're not using this, right? And I had them with them. I had a pod and I had this to show them. They're not taking this to school to stealth vape, okay? They're using this product. And this product, according to your bill, will have 4 cents tax. And my product, according to your tax, will have $3. So you're putting an unfair advantage to the products that adults use, and you're giving a clear benefit to the product that the kids are using under the disguise of protecting the kids. It's
unbelievable. You know, I was watching some of the Florida hearing today, and the American Heart Association got up there, and they were actually, because an amendment was proposed to limit the nicotine concentrations to 20%.
Yeah.
Okay, so. And the American Heart Association said, no, we're against that. We're against that. And you got to start to wonder. Okay, well, if they do that, that's going to hurt Juul, which is going to hurt Altria, which is probably going to hurt the kickbacks and the pockets of the American Heart Association.
Yeah.
It is so disgusting.
It really is, isn't it?
So wrong what's going on in this industry. And my biggest fear is that there are people out there, there are smokers that are watching this show. There are smokers in the chat. There are smokers who are friends of ours, okay, who are going to hear all this, and they're going to see all of this fighting that's going on, all of this ridiculousness that's going on, all of these bills and these taxes and the negative information in mainstream media, and they're going to say, "Fuck it." Sorry, this is the Smoker Show.
No, it's okay.
I'm just going to smoke. It's just easier to smoke.
Yeah, it's going to cause that. I agree with you, and that's a big fear for me as well too when I'm trying to promote these products, and it's very hard for me to. And that's why we try to keep advocacy or this kind of talk away from the Smoker Show. But I think today was a good opportunity to let you know that if you have recently converted and you're a new vapor and you might not know about this, you should look into this. If you believe that if you quit smoking a month ago and you believe that vaping is better for you and you feel better, you should be aware what the government is trying to do. Because one day you might wake up and guess what? Your vape that you're paying now $20 might cost $30 tomorrow. You're going to be like, oh, what the hell? I didn't know nothing about this. So I want to keep people informed in a more toned down and understanding fashion here versus my very industry focused rant today on Facebook. And again, it was triggered by the what happened in Nashville. As far as the political climate's concerned, I've got that under control here in Tennessee. But that's not the issue. The issue, this is what triggered it. And then the industry itself is not participating. And this is why we're losing the fight. And the consumers as well, too. I believe that most of us have to look at the NRA, the gun owners here in the United States. Look how outraged they get when something comes along to take away their rights. And we're talking about a gun. We're not talking about a product that could potentially save your life and those around you and your family members and your friends, and a product that saved my life and Phil's life and all the people that are in this chat today are going to watch the replay and sprung so many small businesses across the United States. It's so frustrating to me. So I have to release some of that steam because it builds up I'm not a messiah or anything. Like, I can't save vaping, but all I can do is just make you aware and try to educate you. And that's all, since 2011, Phil, that's all I've tried to do is educate. And if it takes me get on there and dropping a few F-bombs on Facebook, there were more than a few, by the way, today, so be it. So be it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're in the thick of it too. I mean, you're going to these hearings. You're seeing the like I said before, the ridiculousness that goes on there. And I like, this is one of the reasons why, like I say, you're an advocate and I'm not necessarily an advocate, because like you really walk the walk. I can't even, like, I would lose it if I had to go to these hearings and I had to listen to the nonsense that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the Florida hearing today.
Yeah.
They have the open comments period where you can say I'm for this or I'm against this, or like, you might as well talk to a brick wall.
Yeah.
Like I want people to go out there and fight, and I want their voices to be heard, but I also question and I also wonder, like, are we wasting our breath? Because these people, their minds are made up because of who's donating and where the money comes from. Their minds are made up. I don't think there's anything that we can say at some that's going to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's another fear that I have where we're going, because as we continue to lose these battles, nobody's going to want to fight anymore.
Correct.
Well, how many, like we've been saying for years now, we need a win. We need wins, right? And you've actually been quite successful.
18-0, baby. 18-0.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing fantastic.
Hopefully 21 after this year.
I mean, like, if these flavor bans go through in California and New York, I don't even want to think about what that means.
Chicago's next, and then eventually all the way down to Florida. I mean, that's generally what's been the pattern. But anyway, I mean, I don't want to get into this too deep. I do appreciate you bringing it up, and I do appreciate it. I mean, the video's gone crazy. A lot of people watched it, and a lot of people shared it, and I do appreciate that. Again, the goal was not to lambaste the industry, is just to wake you up, because people need to be aware of what's happening in these, and a lot of these discussions are happening in closed doors, and you don't hear them as public, and you think everything's okay, and it's not. Get involved in the political process. And for those that are saying that some people don't understand it, listen, politicians understand two things: money and votes. So if you as a consumer should not give money and do not give money, by golly, you can definitely choose with your vote, and they will listen to you. The more people that approach them with a single issue topic, the more influential it will be, and it's been in the history, at least, of vaping. All right, so this past weekend, Phil, my good friend Phil, we were in New York. I was there all week.
Wait! Before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to Pam again. Pam is kicking some butt. Okay,
is she yours?
Huh?
Yours?
No, not my butt. PSS in the chat. Mm-hmm. But as you know, we have supported Pam because Pam has a little vapers party, whether it be during this show or at other times, and she invites all her vaping friends over, and she invites smokers over. Well, Pam today, she converted two smokers over to vaping.
That's fantastic, man.
With some of the product that we sent her. So congratulations to you, Pam. I know you're watching, and I mean, this is just fantastic, right? This is fantastic, and I appreciate the work that you're doing out there, and we're going to continue to support you. So nicely done, Pam.
That is fantastic to hear, and of course, all of that would not be possible, Phil, without the generous contributions from our wonderful smokers, from our smokers, of course, too, and our sponsors as well, too. If you'd be so kind to let us know who they are.
Absolutely. Of course, we have Inikin. And by the way, Inikin, and I think I have a photo here somewhere. I'll try to find it right away. But Inikin just went over the top with a donation to the Smoker Show and hardware. So thank you, guys. Juno's been fantastic. We have tons of stuff from Juno. Lunar Rover, of course. You know, Max always here on the show, answering questions, supporting the show. Got a bunch of e-liquid from them. My Vapor Store, of course, with the 10% discount. If you use MTL 10, right? MTL 10, am I right?
Correct.
Naked 100, of course, they sent a bunch of e-liquids our way. 5 Pawns sent some liquids and shirts, and of course Joytech. I know Joytech has another package heading our way, so we really do appreciate the sponsors. I hope you guys appreciate the sponsors, and I hope you just if you have the opportunity, send the sponsors a thank you, but do support them if you can. I think that would be great.
Yes, we certainly appreciate it. And of course, the telephone lines are open, brought to you by the Vaping Advocate Magazine, 215-383-5752. They are working, and all you have to do is press 1 when you hear a British lady saying some stuff that I don't understand. Just press 1. That way I can look on my switchboard over there, and it raises a little hand, and I know that you want to come on, and I will bring you on here to talk with me and the Italian Stallion. All right.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that tonight. Let's get some calls. Let's get some people who know smokers, and let's get some product out there, because I mean, all this product coming in from our sponsors. You know, this show is not about Team Free Shit. This show is about helping smokers.
Team Free Caca.
Right?
Team Free Caca.
Team Caca. Right. Yeah. I gotta watch my language on this show. This is okay. But I also want to thank Tom. Tom, what is the name of Tom's shop up there in Canada? Do you remember? Or
I forget.
I forget too. Tom, let me know what the name of your shop is here in the chat.
Yeah, he's the one that hooked up the guy that called up last time, right?
What's that?
Tom is the one that hooked up the guy that called last time. He sent him a message to send him some stuff from Canada. That way we don't have to send it here from the United States. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
Thomas Kearshaw.
Tom also sent Pam a big package of e-liquid too. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, we deal in nicotine strengths that are required by smokers. So we have like 12s and 18s and stuff like that, and some salts as well. But I'm not able to ship e-liquid with nicotine to Canada. So Tom took care of A&O. Is that it? A&O? So Tom did take care of Pam with a nice care package. So thank you for that, Tom.
Smoker Show party just sounds like a lot of fun. Let me tell you something.
It does.
We need to come up. We need to come up with a key word when they hear it. They take a shot. That would be really fun. And a vape. A shot and a vape.
We need to go up to Canada and do the Smoker Show live
from Pam's house. That would be so cool. Is she on Montreal? We're supposed to go to Edmonton or something, aren't we? We're supposed to go. Where are we going in May? We're going to Toronto. Where are we going?
I don't know. It's Canada somewhere. It's like, I think it's Toronto.
Our travel schedule is so brutal. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But speaking of travel schedule, we were up in New York last week. I went there from Monday, hence why we didn't do the Smoker Show last week. I had some business to attend to there with Inikin, and you joined me on Wednesday, and we attended the Vape event New York City. So I want to just get your thoughts on the show overall, Mr. Phil.
First of all, I will say this. The show is very, very well run, okay? It's French folks who do it, right?
Correct.
And it's really, really well organized. It's not like overly crowded. I think it's probably one of the better B2B only shows out there right now. There were a lot of buyers there. There was a lot of business being done. Inikin was one of the primary sponsors of the show, so we had a VIP area upstairs. So we would meet with folks downstairs, and then we would invite them upstairs to do business. So I think the show was really well done, and I do invite people who are in the business to check that out next year. should vaping still be here next year. But there was one thing that I experienced. I know Dimitri experienced it too. Dimitri and I are very, very focused on smoking cessation, right? Getting people off of cigarettes and onto vaping. We have always been about making that switch. We have always been about tobacco harm reduction.
To our detriment sometimes.
What's that?
To our detriment sometimes.
To our detriment is right. But I think what we forget about is that vaping is big business too, right? I mean, there's where we put tobacco harm reduction in front of the business, there's that other side of the industry that just puts the business in front of everything, right? So, when you're talking to buyers and you're explaining to them, like, why did we do the beep the way we did? Why did we do the slide the way we did? What are the features and the functions? And they can care less. They can care. How much does it cost? What's my rock bottom price? Can I put CBD in it? Can I put salt in it? Okay, and off they go. And it's kind of like, they just don't get it. They don't care about, tobacco harm reduction. They don't care about getting people to quit smoking. It's just a business. It's a business. And let me tell you something, if this continues to go the way it goes, if, vaping is only going to get bigger, whether or not, it remains the way it is today. This is only going to get bigger, and the vaping is going to replace cigarettes at some point. So at some point, we're going to go from a multi-million-dollar industry to a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? So it's big business, but it's when you're there and you're talking to buyers, sometimes you have to remember, okay, it's not smoking cessation for them. You know what I mean, Dimitri?
I know exactly what you mean, and and I get it, like the hype and the marketing and all that. I get it. I get it. But at some point you have to think that you need new customers, and when you need new customers, you need to have products to attract new customers. And this is what we're selling. This is what we're trying to get across. And sometimes, you just have to know your audience before you go into, because you get frustrated. So I've done a better job with that, meaning I can understand the audience. And I know, Phil, you're not a salesperson, period. But I think that your passion sometimes overruns it, and it shouldn't let you bother. Overall, look, the show was good. We saw a bunch of new liquids that just launched this year. A lot of salt, a lot of salts, which was it's a little bit concerning to me. But overall, as a show, the way it was put on and the way that we handled ourselves, I think it was one of the best ones this year in the United States.
And I would agree.
And not to take away anything from the other shows. Don't get me wrong. It's just a different vibe, and it's a different crowd, and it's a different mission, if you want to call it that. There's nothing wrong with the shows that are more party type atmosphere, and it's all vape and have a good time, and a lot of the advanced vapers go there. This was just completely different. It was good to see some of the old folks. I get to see Cheryl from Cherry Vape. She was there. Andrew from Vape Band was there. I haven't seen him in years.
And Andrew hooked me up with a ton of vape bands. I never thanked him in any of my videos, although that is coming up.
He only gave me one. I'm on his back.
No, so I tell you what, if any smokers call in and participate, and we get anything headed your way, it will include vape bands. I promise you that.
Andrew, he don't like me. But that's okay. I like him. I saw a little comment here. I just want to bring it up here. This is by Light01 that said he's been trying to get his partner to quit smoking, but they just hasn't been successful with those cigarettes. Listen, if you want to call in, Light, I have these great kits from Juno. They sent us for cases like that. It has a 3-pod pack inside. It has a menthol, fruit, and a tobacco, and it's all set up in a little kit. If you want to try it, just give us a call. We'll send you one courtesy of Demand Vapes and Juno. So if that you think will work for you, please call ahead. Please go ahead and call in. But also, One thing from that just love going to New York. I just love going to New York. I love the food. I love the city. I love the people. Even though some of them are rude and you smell weed all over town, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. I still love the city, and I had a great time in New York. Got to see George came all the way from China, from Inikin. That was really really cool. And it's always good to see good people that in the industry that you haven't seen in a while and talk to them. And we had a lot of that going on. And I also think that we accomplished a little bit as well too by talking to some of these manufacturers privately about what the state of affairs is, because a lot of them get busy. It's sell, and they don't really keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah. I was talking before about like buyers and how they're very focused on like the bottom line and things like that. And yet, when I hear George from Inikin talk, he's always talking about converting smokers. He's always talking about new customers. He's always talking about tobacco harm reduction, right? That's one of the owners of Inikin. And that's not something that you hear from many of the owners out there. Like we said, of course, Inikin wants to sell product too, right? I mean, that's how they stay in business. But to have an owner that gets it, gets it beyond just selling the product, I think that's terrific. And I think a company like that should be supported.
Yeah. Overall, a good time in New York. It was a good show. I enjoy it. What I took away from it, obviously it was a more business oriented show. It was done very, very well. We did a lot of good business. A lot of the suppliers got to see the Beep, which for us is our baby, and we've been working on it very hard for a very long time, and we're really proud of what it does and we were able to accomplish with this device. And a lot of people might have seen it on a picture and they say, oh, it's too big, or it's this, or it's that. But I'm telling you what, everybody that saw it at the show absolutely loved it. I mean, we picked up some new distributions here in the United States, like Medusa and a couple of other new ones, Lightfire Group, that saw the product, used the product, and really enjoyed it. So I was really, really proud of that. And my biggest accomplishment this past weekend in New York, converting a Juul pod user into a beeper.
He became a beeper.
He became a beeper. So let's forget about hashtag Juuling and let's do hashtag. What is the hashtag that we're going to be using, Phil?
Beeper.
It's beeping. Come on, you got to learn hashtags, Phil. It's beeping.
Beeping.
It's hashtag.
You know
beeping.
what? Well, it all works. Beeping, beeper.
Yeah.
It all. And by the way,
but not to be confused with Bieber. That's a completely different person.
No, not Bieber. And we're going to talk about the Beep a little bit later on in the show. And by the way, it is Beep. It's not Bip. Yeah, I know there's two eyes there, but I mean the reason why it's called Beep is because it beeps.
Yeah, I know. There's a guy out in Ireland that did a review that calls it the Z-Bep. The Z-Bep. I was like, is that the same device that we got? But anyway.
Hey, you know what? You can call it Bob for all I care, as long as you're using it, enjoying it, and not smoking with it.
So we're at dinner at Harry's Italian restaurant in New York City, an old Italian restaurant. It's been there 100 years. The food was okay. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. But we're having dinner there. Just a lot of great folks. Jam Monster was there, and Custom Vapes was there from the UK for a birthday party. And right across from me is a distributor from the UK that is just crushing these Juuls. I mean, just crushing one after the other. So I said, what are you doing using a Juul? I said, you make liquid. He's like, man, I can't give up the Juul, and that we can't get them in the UK. And every time I come to the US, I spend like $3,000 to get pods, and all this. So I said, try this. I have 20 milligram mix nicotine salt and regular salt in this over there. And he looks at it and he's like, oh, that's a little bit big. And I said, well, hold on a second. Let me tell you, first of all, what it does. So I go through, Phil was sitting right next to me. I go through this. This is how you fill it. It's got an extra chip. It's got this, got the battery. But now I set the airflow in one hole. So try it. So he picks it up and he vapes it. And he absolutely loved it. I know this sounds like a commercial. I don't care. Turn the channel if you don't like it. Because to me, it was a proud moment. Picks it up. He absolutely loved the draw. Absolutely loved it. And then I see him continue. He's like, is this 20 milligram? It's so satisfying. He's using it constantly. In fact, he tried to walk out that night with the device in his hand. So I told him to come by the booth the next day, which he did. And we gave him a beep. He put his liquid inside, and he was using it through the entire day. Not only was he using it, he was going around telling everybody how great it was. I mean, I don't know. The first time I ever met the guy, there was people coming to the booth telling me, Miles told me about this beep. I want to see this beep. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? So that was my biggest highlight of this past weekend, is converting not a smoker, but converting a jewel pod user.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, I mean, he absolutely loved it. And I don't know. I don't know if these people just haven't experienced like a quality mouth to lung draw. But I mean, that's what we're after. That's what our products are all about. And, you know, to see a dedicated jeweler become a beeper, I think that was fantastic. A couple of things here in the chat that I want to point out. Christina, congratulations. Christina now off cigarettes completely for 13 days.
Yeah, I've got the notes ready. I was going to go through this.
I'm sorry.
There's others before that. You just picked up on that.
Well, you know, I'm just seeing what I see.
I hear. But that's what we have Bill for, by the way. Bill collects those and puts them in my private chat, so I can bring him here.
I also want to just send out a heartfelt apology to all Yankees fans. You see,
I'm sorry.
𝗵𝗵𝗧 attended the Yankees game, and he's got his Greek grease all over the stadium now. Their season's done. I apologize to everybody for that.
We're sucking so hard right now, buddy. It's not even funny. I did have tickets at Yankee Stadium. I had really great seats. I was right behind first base. And I was just excited. I've never been to the new stadium. I've been to the old stadium multiple times. And I was just really, really excited to attend a game. And we played horribly. We played really, really bad. We lost the game. Not only did we lose the game, I paid $160 in mojitos, brother. We had 8 mojitos at $20 a piece, $160 in mojitos. And then some lunch that we had there, some like 3, what are they called? Anyway, quesadilla. Like it was like 3-piece of quesadilla, $40, whatever. But I had an amazing time. I got the girls some Yankees hoodies, and it was just fantastic. I had a really good time. But yeah, we're sucking really bad.
Yeah.
And we had 2 injuries over the last 2 days, so it's been horrible.
Your seats looked really nice too.
Yeah, they were. The seats were good. Good. All right, let me go through some of these comments from the chat Bill has been collecting.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Roberto Donner watching the show with a smoker now. This is from Roberto Donner. So congratulations, Robert. If you got any questions, or if the smoker has any questions, feel free to call in. The telephone lines are open, 215-383-5752. This is from Sona. Sonahora, we have a real hard time in India also, where the government is trying to ban vaping countrywide. Yes, Sona, you are going to have a hard time in India because a lot of people smoke, and it's a big moneymaker for the country. Shane Hickley, one of the biggest reasons I quit smoking 2.5 months ago is because of the cost of vaping compared to cigarettes. Wouldn't it still be cheaper to vape even with all these bills? Depends. It really depends. A 68% wholesale tax like I have in California, buddy, is not good, right? 40% tax that they have in Pennsylvania is not good. It takes a 30 ml bottle from $20, to close to the $30. It's a lot of money. And at the end of the day, even if it is slightly cheaper than cigarettes, the whole point is that we should not be paying the same tax as cigarettes. That's the whole thing. Even if it was the same price as cigarettes, just for your health, I would tell you to convert. Absolutely. It just makes it easier when you can also toss in that economical factor. And it's something that a lot of people are looking for, especially in the middle lower classes, which has a lot of smokers. 𝗃𝗽𝗏, trying to convert a coworker today, it is hard. 𝗃𝗽𝗏, yes, but keep at it, buddy. Right, Phil? Don't give up.
Absolutely. And 𝗃𝗽𝗏, if you want to send me a message on Facebook, I would be happy to send you something for your smoker. Anybody else who wants to give a call in, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also to Light01. I know 𝗵𝗵𝗧 offered to send you a Juno. I know you are in Australia, and all the more I want 𝗵𝗵𝗧 to send you.
I just said, listen, in the platform group we had a giveaway, right? So Phil, this is how jinx Phil is. Phil says, I hope it goes somewhere far. So the name comes out, 𝗃𝗽𝗏, and I've seen the name on Facebook. I've talked to him a few times, and I'm like, oh, thank God. I think it's a Greek guy living in the United States. So he sends me a message. He's in Australia. It was $48 to send him. More of the cost of the Zlide and the Aries combined to send it to Australia. But
I've been doing those giveaways, and like 20% go to the U.S. now, and the rest go overseas.
But that's all right. We're happy to do it.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. We're happy to do it.
Vapester. Sure. I've been vaping since September last year and been trying to get my wife and daughter off cigarettes. Like I said, Vapester, the telephone lines are open. You go ahead and call in. Christina Owens, thanks to you guys and other YouTubers. I was smoker dabbling in vaping now as a non-smoker for 13 days. Congratulations. Oh, I think you said that. Yep. Costello West, update on my ex who may be watching. 1 cigarette all day Monday because of the beep. Yeah, I talked to Ed about this. Ed actually has given his ex, which you're a good ex, Ed. I'm going to tell you that. Usually they give ex, beeps filled with poison. But he's
like
been trying. He's been trying to get smoke more. But he's given her a lot of stuff over the years. Ed's been vaping for a very long time. He's an OG, and nothing has worked. And he gave her the beep, and she loves it. So congratulations to her. And yeah, I'm happy that she likes it. But having said that, Phil, let me go ahead and take a phone call. We have a phone call. You want to talk to him?
Sure, let's go. Let's see if it works.
All right. Shut up. All right, 517, you're on the air with Phil and Demi. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Lori from Michigan.
Hi, Lori from Michigan. How are you?
Lori from Michigan.
I am fine. You guys had sent us a few goodies a couple months back, but then there hasn't really been any call-ins because everybody's been so busy.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you called back to give us an update. So first of all, tell us what we sent you, because we can't remember, especially Phil's budget is out of control.
Not a problem. You sent us a nice, pretty purple, what's that thing called, honey?
It's Anakin. I'm not sure which one it is.
It was one of the purple.
The chroma, yeah.
The chroma.
Yeah.
Yes. And a basil.
And a basil.
Yep.
A basil.
All right.
Well, the basil was supposed to be for my husband.
Okay.
And the chroma was supposed to be for me.
Okay.
Well, he's got the chroma and I've got the basil.
That's okay. So what has your experience been with it?
Okay. The chroma he loves. He's really a major mouth to lung type person.
Mm-hmm.
And he absolutely loves the chroma with the Zenith tank on it. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the basil because I have discovered that I don't do good with the mouth to lung.
Okay.
I end up with too much vapor in my mouth and at the back of my throat, and it was just making me cough. I was having terrible problems with coughing. And so I have learned to do more of a restricted lung.
Okay.
And I'm doing much better with that. For
That's
some
fine.
reason,
More
I just
importantly,
can't do the mouth
how are
to
you
lung.
both
It
doing
kills
with
me.
smoking?
I just end up coughing like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And
Listen, it's okay, Lori. It's okay. It's finding what works for you. I think that is the main thing that we're trying to get through here. You need to find the product that makes you happy, and that's the great thing about having the variety of products in vaping.
well, that's why I ended up with the basil, is because you can open the basil up a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, these little GS coils, they are some kicking coils.
Good. We're very happy for you.
They have.
Let me ask you this.
have
More
really-
importantly, than which device you're using or how you're using it, how are you guys doing with not smoking anymore?
We are still not completely not smoking, but we were down to 1 pack a day, and we're probably down now to about a third of a pack a day. We're still, our big points are in the morning and after dinner.
Yeah.
So, and I figure we'll get there. We're working on it. We're getting there. These are helping tremendously. I got a new toy, and so I've been working with that, and that's got me cut down a lot better than him. I'm doing much better than he is.
Good. And listen, it sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and it's also to find your sweet spot. As a woman, you should know that, Lori. It's about finding the sweet spot of what makes you happy, and sometimes you have to play around. And our goal is for us to introduce you into vaping, right? Meaning that get you started, find out what it is, see if you like it, and then you can play around, hopefully with the money that you're saving from cigarettes, to upgrade yourself and splurge yourself and then find exactly what you're looking for. But don't worry about having that cigarette in the morning or after dinner or whenever you feel that. Don't worry about that right now. The main thing for you to focus is to find that sweet spot and then just work yourself to get to the point where you don't feel the need to light up. Feel?
Yeah, I totally agree. But here's what I want to do for you, Laurie, okay? Because something that we talk about a lot on this show is dual use. Now, you can, originally the dual use meant, I vape and I smoke. right? Well, dual use can be something different now. Dual use can be like, let's say you have that Chroma and that Zenith. Well, what if you had a tank, a Zenith tank by itself, and that tank had like maybe an 18 milligram tobacco in it? So that when you feel the need to have that cigarette, whether it be early in the morning or it be after dinner, you unscrew your fruity flavor, the one that you really enjoy, and you screw on your stronger tobacco, and you use that to get over that hump until you go back to your fruity flavor. So here's what I want to do, because my goal is to have you not smoke at all anymore. That's what I want to do. So why don't we try this? Let's send you out a couple of Junos with the tobacco, which is it's a stronger nicotine, and let's see if maybe that will work for you. If that will get you over the hump and maybe help you not light up during the day. So Lori, if you go ahead and get a hold of me on Facebook, I'll get a couple Junos out in the mail to you and your husband.
Okay.
Okay, Lori, and just use it as a cigarette. Every time that you want a cigarette, just pick up the Juno. This has 36 milligram nicotine in a pod inside, so it's perfect for the times that you really are struggling and the time that you need that extra hit. This definitely can help you.
Yep.
Okay. And one other thing I just wanted to make a comment on is Dimitri, you're doing an excellent job on advocacy for all of us. But one thing I think a lot, especially in our area, a lot of the vapor shops and stuff have really got to start, because I'm here in Lansing, Michigan, and they're hitting us with wanting to do the taxes and stuff. But if you walk into most of the vaping shops around here, they're number one, they're more of a head shop. Number two, the people are so unprofessional. I mean, they're in ratty jeans, yucky T-shirts, tats, piercings, swearing, and the one thing that they've got to start thinking of in the vaping community is appearances. Because if we continue looking counterculture, you're going to lose a lot of lawmakers that way. I've been trying to watch a lot of different things on YouTube and stuff, but some of the reviewers and stuff, I won't even watch because of the language that they use.
Yeah.
Your guys' show, I love your guys' show. You guys are clean and you're focused on your message. Love it.
Thank you, Lori. You're absolutely right. And you're in for a surprise because part of our segment today talks exactly about those vape shops. So stick around and listen to what Phil is fired up about this subject. And you're absolutely right. I totally agree with you that the image, we need to be more professional to draw more smokers inside. Absolutely. No doubt. 110% we're with you on that.
She completely nailed one of the things that we're going to talk about and one of the issues with this industry. Yeah. It's a big issue and it's turning people off. And Lori, we are definitely going to talk about that. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Lori.
And you guys
and
have a good night.
Lori, don't forget to contact me on Facebook so I can get this stuff out to you. Okay.
Will do.
Congratulations, Lori. Thanks. And say hi to your husband for us too. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
There she goes, everybody. Lori, it's sad when you have somebody that's trying vaping and they want to go out to a vape shop and they just don't want to walk inside.
It is, and it's like how many times we've said it over and over and over again. We've pointed it out. We've made it very, very clear. And now there's somebody who's not where we are in the industry, but she sees it. She sees the problem, which means other people see the problem, and we got to stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do want to say hello to Dan. Dan, I did miss you at the show. Dimitri and I both missed you.
Yes.
Sorry about the reason why you couldn't get to the show, and I hope your mom's doing okay.
Absolutely. I sent her a message as well too, thinking about her, and I did miss. I was looking forward to learning some new stealth tricks of vaping around New York City with Dan Donahue. But I guess we'll have to wait till the next time. But let me just take one quick 1 minute break, and then we are going to continue. Okay. All right, and of course, thanks to 𝗀𝗺𝗃, one of our premier sponsors here. We certainly appreciate their support and everything that they've done for the show and all the products that they send to give out to people like Lori. So,
Absolutely.
thank you very much.
We're having a bit of an emergency here, Dimitri.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I'm officially out of coconut creamer for my
Are
coffee.
you? I thought you were gonna be like out of some liquid that you can't live without.
No, this is far worse.
But I do want to move on to the next segment because we're of course running out of time. Every time we start talking about vaping, this is what happens. But just let's touch on what Lori said. Let's just go for it, Phil. I mean, the image of vaping and vape shops. So have at it.
So one of the things that I've been noticing a lot lately, and you know, some people are going to agree with me, some people aren't going to agree with me. But I think what's happening is those vape shops that have not focused on conversion, okay, that have not focused on creating new customers, that have not focused on tobacco harm reduction, that just like, okay, well, what's the fad of the day, and you know, what's the hype, and we're just going to follow the hype. We're going to market to vapers, and we're not going to focus on smokers. What I'm seeing is those vape shops are either shutting down, right, or they start doing things like this. And do you have that photo ready to go, Dimi?
I certainly do, buddy. Let me just bring it up from
And
here.
this bugs me because it puts us in a category. And go to the other one. Go to the one that's blurred out, if you could.
There you go.
Not the this one right here. So you know, I drove around and you know, I found a couple of vape shops that are doing this, right? And you know, I blurred them out. I don't want to create any ill will, nor do I want to promote this company. But you know, here's somebody that they say they're vape, but what are they promoting? What are they advertising? Are they promoting tobacco harm reduction? Are they promoting a healthier lifestyle? No, they're promoting kratom, which I don't even know how to pronounce that. I have no idea what it is. Somebody had to educate me on it. CBD and glass pipes. Okay, now here's the thing, guys. I'm not down on CBD. I'm not down on marijuana, but
Definitely not down on that.
Definitely not, right? But we've got to keep them separate.
Yeah,
we've got to see, because look, marijuana is still not legal everywhere, right? So there's going to be people who are going to be negative, and they're going to see that. They're going to see that kind of advertising, and they are going to put vapors in a category that we do not belong in. Okay. I just don't like what I'm seeing. You know, I mean, look at the storefront that Dimitri just had.
I'm really, really upset about the direction that it's going. And I think that if somebody picks up a Juul or something, or they pick up some vaping device, or they get a vaping device like we send them here on the Smoker Show to start vaping, they automatically vaping, like the way that we listen. I know that you can vaporize weed, and I know that you can vaporize other chemical substances as well too. But I think vaping as we know it sometimes confuses. So they see a sign that says vape shop. So they automatically assume they're going to go in and they're going to see people like me and Phil back there talking about vaping. And that's not necessarily what they're going to get. Again, I don't want to downsize that. If there's a crowd for that, it absolutely is. But what happens is when you mix that smoker, that all he has in his head right now is to quit smoking. And he needs to have the direction and the support. And it's something that me and Phil do all the time with these back to the basics seminars, which, by the way, this Sunday we're doing at the Rocky Top franchise here in Tennessee, and we're going to do it in Las Vegas as well too. But you need to make them feel like they've walked into a shop that, number one, you have the experience and the education needed to provide them with the support that they need to quit smoking. Answer all those questions like we answer them here on the Smoker Show. Make sure you pair them up with the right equipment and nicotine content for them to keep them off cigarettes. And number two, you have to make them feel comfortable. And I hate to say it. Some people just don't feel comfortable in that, and they feel like they're pressured, or they feel like they don't belong, or they feel like you don't have the right equipment, or sometimes some of these shops try to take advantage of you and sell you the wrong piece of equipment because it makes them a little bit more, or the hottest and the craziest, 3 milligram that's out there. So I totally agree with you that this mixture has hurt.
Yeah.
And one of the excuses that I get all the time from vape shops that really grinds my gears, I need to do another Facebook rant on this. One of the biggest excuses I hear is like, well, we brought those in because, we weren't doing that well in just selling vape. When you answer like that and you're a vape shop owner, you know what it tells me? You lost focus.
Yeah.
Because there's still 40 million customers out there, buddy. So you just did not do a good job of bringing back people that have quit smoking to be loyal with you and bringing you customers. That's all that tells me. So I cannot accept that I'm bringing in CBD or whatever because, to supplement income. I just don't believe. There's still a lot of smokers out there, and there's still a lot of pot users as well, too.
And here's the thing. The thing that bothers me is like, I don't mind that they're doing that. I don't mind that they're selling that. I don't mind that there's an audience for that. But how does it make us look to the public? Because like what the public is going to say, oh, those vapors are just a bunch of drug users. I mean, bottom line, that's. I was using a device the other day, and like somebody just asked me, "Oh, do you have marijuana in there?" Like, no, I don't have marijuana in there, right? But I mean, this is the mindset that people are having because of that kind of promotion, that kind of advertising, and then when you go to like Lori was saying, I go in there and it's a bunch of tattoos and ear gauges and everything like that. Look, people should have a right to dress and look and express themselves any way that they want. And I understand that, right? But like if I were to have a business, if I were to have a business and my shop was a vape shop, I would make everything neutral, right? Yeah. It wouldn't gear towards one direction or the other. It would be neutral because I think that would just appeal to a larger audience.
Yeah.
Right. It would appeal to more people. People wouldn't come in and feel uncomfortable because they're dealing with somebody that maybe they just don't like the look of them. And look, I'm not prejudiced. I'm not saying anything negative about that. I'm just saying we have to remember is how this looks to some people. There are people that judge. I'm not one of them, but there certainly are people out there that judge.
And let me tell you something. There's shops that are still doing it right. You can't tell me a chain like Naples Vapor that hasn't even brought salt nicotine inside. They haven't even brought salt nicotine in their stores are operating very successfully and profitably with 9 stores in Florida. And other stores. I mean, I'm just naming that one because that just came on the top of my head. So to tell me that the business is not there, I don't accept that. So we need to make the determination. And unfortunately, this is spreading all over because whatever happens in the U.S. spreads all over the world.
Yeah.
And to preface this, 4 years ago, me and Phil went to a show in Europe. And we said to ourselves, wow, look at this show. There's adults, there's women, there's grandpas, there's grandmas. They're walking around. The show is fantastic, just professional, well organized, no loud musics, no out-of-the-top marketing, no bad labels, no naked chicks. I mean, yeah, I wish I had some naked chicks.
Like naked chicks.
Yeah, absolutely. But not in that setting.
Right.
And we said to ourselves, wow, this is so great. What the hell happened in the United States? And we just happened to stumble across a booth that had some American e-liquid vendors there. No need to give them public. I don't even know if they're still in business. We stumbled into some liquid makers there. And Phil, tell me what you heard.
We've got to inject how things are being done in the United States here.
Yeah, we have to teach him how to vape. We have to teach him how to vape.
Yeah, basically that's it. We have to teach these people how to vape. They're doing it all wrong.
Right.
And the sad thing was that they were doing everything right. They were doing everything right. The show and the people and everything there was about tobacco harm reduction, and it was about the quality of the device that you're using and the experience that you got from the device and the satisfaction that you got from the device. And they were talking, they didn't call it flavors, they called it aromas over there. To me, it was just a great path that they were taking, and maybe that path went away.
And we're seeing it again now with the salt. right? Now, we were in New York. We heard some companies saying, oh, we're going to take salt nicotine and show them how it's done, which is kind of hard because there's a 20 milligram cap in the EU, so I don't think it's going to work. But that's fine. We're seeing the same thing with salt. So we're taking the latest and the greatest hype and we're spreading it all over the world, which is a very, very bad message to say on there. But it's not just that. It's the vape shop atmosphere. And I want to play just quickly this video just to think that, I don't want you to think that we're just saying this about the U.S. because what's happening in the U.S. is spreading in Europe as well, too. This is a reviewer, Richard, a really, really nice guy from the UK. And I just want to play you. He did a video that's called The Top 5 Mistakes That Vape Shops Do. And if you want to go see the whole video, please go see it because it's very, very informative. A lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. But on this particular subject that Lori just mentioned, just listen to what he has to say. He doesn't live in the U.S. He lives in the UK.
Is general atmosphere and vibe. So a lot of vape shops look really cool, and that's great. I'm not knocking when they look really cool and smart and stuff like that. But a lot of them are also very dingy. There's loads of blokes, with their black hoodies on, blowing massive clouds. The whole place is fogged out. And I just think that is a very intimidating environment for a smoker to come off the street. A middle-aged mother of two or an elderly gentleman or anything like that. I think it's a very intimidating environment for a smoker who just wants to pop in and ask some questions about this whole vaping thing. I think, as vape shops owners will tell you, the majority of their business is actually newer vapers and smokers. So you're intimidating your core customer from coming in by making it loud music and dark and I don't know, it's an atmosphere when you get a bunch of blokes hanging around, and blowing clouds and fogging the place out. And I think, you're potentially putting off customers by doing that. And I think it makes it too intimidating for smokers to wander in.
So, it's not just us saying it, guys. I don't want you to think that we're sitting here trying to be preachers. We're not definitely not preachers of vaping. But what we're trying to say is that let's spread the good. Okay, leave the bad. We don't have to keep spreading everything here from the United States out, including the perception of what the vape shop is. Because let me tell you, they're converting a lot of people in Europe. The scene is very, very complete from here. And now if we're having the seepage of that combination store that's really just geared to advanced vapor, it's going to turn some users off. So my question to you, Phil, is, and then we're going to take a couple of calls. My question to you, Phil, is, what should I look for? What should I look for once I decide to visit the vape shop for the very first time?
Yeah, the first thing that I would do is just look at the storefront, right? I mean, if the storefront is loaded with, if they're focused more on CBD and kratom, however the hell you say that, maybe that's not the right shop for you to go into. I would look at, a more professional shop with some more professional people behind the counter. Basically, if you walk in and you feel uncomfortable, that's probably an indicator that maybe you should find another vape shop. Because, somebody just said in the chat, just be professional. Be professional. I mean, we're dealing with an inhalation product that contains nicotine. I would imagine that these shops should be professional, should be organized, should be clean, should be presentable. Right. So, I mean, if you walk and if you walk in and they're not attentive to you, if they're not asking you the right questions as a smoker, if they're just trying to sell you a product without even talking to you, go find another vape shop because that's probably not the right one. And I do hope that the good shops, because there are still really good shops out there. There are a lot of shops that are focused on helping you make the switch from smoking to make that transition from smoking to vaping. Find those shops. They're out there.
And there should be a balance. We've always talked about this balance in products. This also should be, if you want to have a shop like the Hot Rod vape shop where it's only catered to advanced vapors, there's absolutely fine with that. But we should have a vape shop that can cater to the new users as well too. Because that new user that's going to come in, you might actually deter him or her, or gender neutral. I guess we have to start using that now, by the way, Phil. You have to cater to them as well too. Or there's a possibility that not only do we lose a customer, but we have a customer that's going to go out and tell 10 people, oh man, this vaping stuff, nah, it's just crazy, man. It's just a bunch of kids blowing clouds. And I see a comment in the chat that I want to bring up. I want a vape shop that kind of looks like an Apple store, very clean and professional, because he goes into some stores and they act like you're inconveniencing them by asking questions. And one thing that I will tell you, my biggest advice is if you go walk into a vape shop and they try to sell you something as a new user without asking you questions, just walk away. That's the biggest key that you're going to find. They're trying to push onto you some piece of equipment that they think is the best thing without asking you questions. Turn around if you can make it past the door. And in some cases, the main thing here, guys, is that the vape shop is extremely vital because it's like the support group. Your car is out of tune, you're going to go to the service repair center to get your car tuned. Your computer's not bogged down with porn like Phil's, you're going to take it to Best Buy and have it cleaned out by the Geek Squad. The vape shop is the outlet where the consumer can go when they have an issue with their device and they want some help, or they want to try some flavors to find something else because they're having vapor's tongue, or that's not doing it for them. They need more nicotine. They need less nicotine. The vape shop is that place, and we have to balance those for the millions of smokers that are still out there.
We do. It's such a vital part of the industry because that is where you should be going to get good information, to get the support and the help and the guidance and the direction that you need to make the switch. Right. I mean, if you think about it, back in the early days when I started doing reviews, one of the reasons why I was so detailed with the reviews is because you didn't have the ability to hold that product in your hand. Well, now you do, and it's called the vape shop, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it is so important that these shops continue to survive and thrive. But I just think they need to be a little bit more professional in a lot of cases, and maybe rethink their ways in a lot of cases too. Dimitri, and in the chat we talked about like the Apple store, like a clean, crisp, pure image when you walk in there. Well, I can tell you a shop that models itself after that, and that's the IQO stores.
The IQO stores, yes.
Right? I mean, and there's big tobacco, right? And when you walk into an IQO store, we did in Greece, Dimitri will tell you that it's an extremely professional, adult, mature environment, right?
Yeah, it really is. Everybody's dressed up with uniforms. They spend 45 minutes to an hour with every new customer to explain everything. They listen to the concerns. Great warranty, great service, great, trying to find the right, thing for that customer that's coming in. The employees have to go through a mandatory training before they're put on the floor. I mean, it's a completely different experience because why? They know how to sell to the smoker, and it's something that unfortunately our industry has forgot. All right, let me take some comments and move along here. We wanted to put these pictures up, just kind of give you an idea of what is going wrong here in the United States, and that's a big, big part of the problem. Steel City, after 45 years of smoking and now 15 days smoke-free, that's what I finally did to stop doing both. Meaning his morning and night is tobacco is how in the Aries and with Naked American Cowboy. So he's using that when he needs a cigarette and then going back to his regular vape. Serious question from Roberto. Can you get a pod type restrictive airflow on the Zenith that you get on a pod system? I think that with the one hole exposed, you can get it pretty tight. Is it going to be as tight as this very, very small pod? No. I think it's going to be very, very hard for you to replicate this type of a draw simply because the airflow on one of the... I can't even get it out, Phil.
Come on. Pull hard, dude.
Simply because the airflow on this is extremely tiny and the coil is very, very small as well, too. So you're not going to be able to get that tight of a draw. But it's going to be close. It's going to be close. You can cut it down and even close half the one hole if you want to get it a little bit tighter. Just keep in mind, the more airflow you restrict into a bigger tank like that, you're forcing more liquid to go quickly into the coil. So there is an opportunity that sometimes that it might flood. So you have to keep eye on that. All right. Another little question here. Our staff in our store is supplied with black button-down shirt with our store logo embroidered above the breast. Black dress pants, dress shoes, and a belt or suspenders, tie or bow tie is optional. I love that, Amir. That's just fine. I wish everybody would do it. This is from Janine. Would you happen to know how I can get involved locally to help spread the good word? Pro vaping info on the West Coast. A link, perhaps, California Smoke Free Organization, and of course, CASA.org. Those are the two places that I can recommend you to go. And then finally, 𝗀𝗵𝗄, my personal doctor told me he wanted to learn more about vaping, but was intimidated about stopping into vape shops he has seen. How bad is that? how bad. I mean, I can only speak of Tennessee. I really don't want to blast any other. But when I go talk to politicians, I swear, everybody that I take with me feel. I had 30 vape shop owners in Tennessee 2 weeks ago that I took them up there with me. And I would be proud for any politician to walk into any of those stores. Everybody's dressed professionally. Everybody talks professionally. They know their product. If you cannot get a doctor that wants to learn about vaping to go into a store, then we got a huge problem, Phil.
That's a problem. That's a big problem. Well, I think a lot of these store owners, I mean, they saw massive dollar signs. They were very, very young. It was a way for them to live the American dream. They were more maybe hobbyists than they were really truly concerned with tobacco harm reduction. And I think that probably hurt themselves for just sustainability. And I think, that hurts the industry too.
Yeah. Oh, Janine said in Canada. In Canada, you have 𝗃TA, you have CVE, and you have THRA. Those are the three. If you want to just Google those, Janine will get you more information. There's also Vape World. We've been trying to get her to come on the show, but it's easier to book the Pope to come on the show than it is. But anyway, so this is the last comment. He said he's going to recommend the Smoker Show next time that he sees the doctor, and we certainly appreciate it. Tell the good doctor to come. And actually, if you can get him to call in, I'd be more than happy to talk to him over the phone and answer every question that the doctor has.
We'll have the doctor on as a guest.
Absolutely. We can do anything that he wants.
That's another a problem here in the U.S. when it comes to support from doctors. I spoke to a psychiatrist at a vape event. And he vaped. He was a proponent of vaping. He suggested vaping. I said, why don't you come on the show? Let's talk. We'll come on the show. And can't do that. Yeah. And why? Because he's afraid of big pharma.
Yeah.
Right.
Still a lot of money there to be made. All right, we got a telephone call, Phil. You want to bring it in?
Absolutely. Come on.
704. If I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correct, 704 is in Charlotte, correct? And who's on the phone?
Hey, this is Andy. I'm actually just outside of Charlotte.
Oh, see, I was right. What did I win? What did I win, Andy?
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding. Go
well, what do I have? I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know. Nothing. I was just joking.
I'm looking at a garage full of stuff, so I can probably accommodate whatever you need.
So what's up, Andy? Tell us. Talk to us.
So yeah, I've got a question. I quit smoking several years ago, and this was way back when. Do you remember when we were using the 510 atomizers? I know you guys have been vaping for a while.
Sure.
This is when it first started, and it had the blue, light on the end and everything.
Sure.
And since then, I've gotten back into smoking, and now I'm trying to quit again.
Okay.
The problem is I'm so overwhelmed by everything. Everything has changed so much. There's salt nicotine. There's what they call freebase now.
Yeah.
There are thousands of devices. I'm just really overwhelmed as far as how do I start? And the problem is you can use the buy it and try it method, but then you end up like I have with a tackle box full of stuff that doesn't work for you.
Yeah, I understand.
So I would love to get some kind of recommendations for something that's simple, easy, no muss, no fuss, that kind of thing.
All right, Andy, I'm going to let Phil go at it this first, and then I got some recommendations myself. Phil, go at it.
Yeah. So here's the good news. Okay. Everything is better now than when you started. That's the good news. Okay. So the satisfaction level is going to be superior to what you used in the past. Because I'm familiar with what you're talking about. You're talking about the old stick batteries. You're talking about the old atomizers with the bridge, and it just wasn't very good. So I am going to make a suggestion, but I'm going to go one step beyond the suggestion. I do want you to get a hold of me on Facebook because I want to send you something. I'm going to send you one of the suggestions. One of the devices that I have been recommending for, this is going on years, is the Inikin T18. Okay. It's just a really good device that simulates a cigarette very, very well. Okay. So that was the original T18. Now we have the T18-2 that has a couple of additional features. And I would certainly like to send you one of those along with some liquids too from some of our sponsors. So if you get a hold of me on Facebook, I'll go ahead and make sure that I get some of that out.
Andy, this is gonna be a really good experiment for us as well too. We want you to call in on the next show after you get him and try him and tell us your experience with him. But the biggest thing for me is like, what do you think that from what you've tried now, trying to get back into vaping, what do you think that you're missing the most? I think this is the question that we really want to find out.
Sure. So the toughest thing that I'm having is something that simulates that draw. And I know fortunately the mouth to lung seems to be making a comeback, because when I kind of got out of vaping, it was all about, smog machines and changing the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that's good. But like I said, I just kind of don't know where to start. And the stuff that I've tried seems to be, too airy. And I've tried some of the different salt nicotine, stuff like that. That seems to be too harsh. I can't seem to get the nicotine level right.
Okay.
In the past, I was able to just, take a very similar draw, get a very similar, satisfaction level, so to speak. I seem to be able to hit more consistently. Now it just seems all over the place based on, what type of juice you're using, what nicotine strength, what PG-VG ratio. We just didn't have so many choices back then.
I hear you.
And a follow-up question too, Phil.
Sure.
I know you said, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Questions are always welcome. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm not on Facebook. Is there another way that I can get a hold of you?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I have your telephone number on my screen. So all you got to do is just send an email to 𝗵𝗺𝗀@tasteyourjuice.com. Put Andy and then put your telephone number. That way I can verify that it's you. And then just send your address, and then we'll make a little package. We'll put a couple of variety options there for you. Easy peasy. Keep it simple. And the other question that I have for you, how heavy of a smoker are you? And do you smoke regular cigarettes or menthol?
Yep. So I smoke Cowboy Killers, Marlboro Reds, and about a pack and a half to 2 a day.
Okay. Okay. And then where do you work? What do you do for employment, Andy?
Well, here's another bad thing. I work from home. I don't have to actually drive into the office. So it's good and bad because I'm not limited in what size or shape or, mod I would have to carry. But it's bad because I have 100% access to just step out front anytime during the day I want.
Got you. We understand. Okay, sounds good. I think that dual use would be very, very beneficial for you as well, too. All right, Andy, 𝗵𝗺𝗀@tasteyourjuice.com. Send an email. Just put your full telephone number. I see it now on the screen. I've got it screenshotted. And then we'll verify that it's you and get you the stuff out there. And then please call us back in a couple of weeks and let us know how it goes for you, okay?
Yeah, definitely. And let me just say, I really appreciate what you guys are doing to try to help, those of us who have not switched. So
thanks, Andy. We appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
That's what we're here for.
Yes,
Andy, just a couple of quick things, Andy. First of all, for my email address, Bill will go ahead and post it in the chat so that you have it for sure. Very easy, 𝗵𝗺𝗀@tasteyourjuice.com. And my second question to you, you're not in Australia, are you?
No, he's in Charlotte. He just said at the beginning of the phone call.
I just want to make sure. Okay?
Damn it. I wish you were in Australia. Damn it, Andy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Andy. Have a wonderful evening and good luck to you, man. I hope we get you back to where you were before and kick those stinkies, okay?
We'll get you there, Andy.
Yeah, and I'll definitely give you guys a call back once I get that and let you know how it's going. Like you said, it can be kind of an experiment. Let's figure out what's the best way to go from here to there.
Absolutely. Data is what we need. Thanks, Andy. Have a good evening. There he goes, everybody. And listen, this is where it really boils down to for me and Phil. I think the way that we can improve our products and our approach and what we're doing here on the Smoker Show is feedback. So I know we've sent a lot of stuff over the last, 26, 27 episodes. And I know sometimes people are embarrassed, but even if it doesn't work for you, the only way for us to know is if you call back and tell us what went wrong. There's nothing wrong. We're not going to blast you or whatever. These are just kindly generated by our sponsors, but they want to know as well, too. The guys that make the liquids and the guys that make the products, they want to get feedback from you guys. So good or bad, always try to call back and please follow up with us after you receive some vapor goodies.
And Andy makes a really good point. I mean, it's something that we've talked about in the past, and I think it's one of the importance of having a show like this. We take for granted how much we have learned, the knowledge that we've accumulated in the industry, being in the industry in the early days, right? Resistance and wattage and temperature controls and PG-VG ratios. When you started earlier in the industry as a vapor, maybe it was a good thing, maybe it was a bad thing, but you had less choice, right? You really had less choice. Now, coming in to vaping today, it's confusing as hell. There's there's so much stuff going on, so many different ways that you can vape, so many different experiences that you can have. It's going to be extremely overwhelming to people, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, why it is so important to have good people behind your counter at a vape shop.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going to get your guidance from, unless you find a show like this, right?
I totally agree. And just to round that up, in just one nutshell, is that the main focus for us has always been smokers, okay? But if you are a smoker, there is a good possibility that in today's market, you'll give up easier than when we gave up, because we didn't have a choice. Having a choice today means you're going to go buy something, drop $60, it doesn't work, then you're going to drop something that's $80, then you're going to think you need a DNA board to quit smoking, you're going to spend another $150, then you're going to think, oh, I need to have the latest and the greatest, sugar juice that's out there, I'm going to go spend another $30 on that. Next thing you know, you're $200, $300 in the hole, and you're like, shit, this is not working. Sorry, caca, yes, this is not working. And we should have like a tip jar every time we swear, just put something in there to deter it from there. But it's actually harder, in my opinion, today to quit because there's so many options. Back in the day when we tried vaping, I'm going to tell you what my thought process was when I tried vaping. Oh, there's something there. Yeah. Was it the greatest thing ever? We're talking about a pre-filled 36 milligram cartridge from V2. Was it the best thing? No, it was. But I was like, man, there's something there. This product this can do it for me. So whether I want it or not, I made it work.
Right. And it's really interesting that Dimitri said that, because I mean, that literally was my first experience with vaping. It wasn't about my first experience was going to Heaven Gifts and finding the cheapest e-cig that I could find as a proof of concept. And this was after I did my research, because I knew smoking was going to kill me. I just wanted to make sure vaping didn't kill me tomorrow. Right. And as you can imagine, the amount of research that I had available to me back then was like virtually non-existent compared to what we have today. Yet we still have problems and we're fighting every day. But once I had that cheap, crappy product in my hands and I took that first inhale, I was like, this could work. This could actually do it.
Yeah.
All the things that I've tried before, the patches and the gums and the different methods that I used to quit, this might be the answer. That's when I said, okay, now I'm going to get serious about this, and I'm going to look up different products and see what is like kind of best out there right now.
Yeah.
And best out there then was, for me anyway, was the Joy 510. Right.
Yeah.
That's why if I could quit with the Joy 510 and Decang e-juice or e-liquid rather, man, if you can't quit today with the options and the choices and how good the products are today, you either, like I've said before, you either don't want to quit or you're just not trying hard enough.
Quick 30-second break from our sponsors, and we're going to be right back. All right, and we are back. We do have a couple of telephone calls lined up, and I think we know this guy here, Phil. 770, you are on the air with Dimitri and the Italian Stallion.
Hey, Dimitri and Pete, how are you?
Good, how are you? Who's this?
Charlie from Atlanta here.
Charlie from Atlanta. Phil, that's a big celebrity that's calling in, buddy. This is probably the biggest celebrity we've had ever on the show to call in. What's up, Charlie?
Just wanted to call and tell you guys how much I'm enjoying the platform series products. These coils are amazing. And what's the whatever the all-in the tank and mod combination is? It's really incredible.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. Thanks for calling. Coming from you, that's an honor.
I love the 0.5 watt increments. It keeps it simple, even though I like vaping at 10.4 watts, so that's somewhat of a problem for me. But I love how intuitive all these products are, and just wanted to thank you guys for your contribution.
Thanks, Charlie. Phil?
I really appreciate that, Charlie, and I look forward to you doing Michael Jackson in karaoke again sometime in the near
Yeah,
future.
absolutely. I really, really enjoyed that.
I'm the best.
The only thing I regret about that is not ever videotaping, because that would make some really good blackmail video in the future when your kids are getting married. But Charlie, just to round up, you've been in this industry very, very long, and you've seen what's happening now. Well, I mean, I don't know if you're still in the industry, but you see what's happening now with the attacks that we're having and this Juul craze that's going on. What are your thoughts on that? I just want just briefly, if you can touch on that.
Should we explain who Charlie is first? Charlie, before you go on here, we should explain who Charlie is, right?
Sure.
Right. So Charlie is the guy behind the Vapor Flask so long ago, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you had a few other products under your name too, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
You want to mention those?
Yeah, we had several versions of the Vapor Flask, a couple of AIO devices, the Sync, which are, I guess, all retired now. But that's when things were easy. I call that the heyday of the vaping industry. It's obviously a little bit different now,
sure.
Operating under regulation. No, I'm still very much in tune with what's going on in the industry, and continue to monitor basically new products coming out of the market. And I see a lot of people in the comments talking about how lucky smokers are now to come in with the right types of products. I mean, if you came to this market, or if you were trying to use these products 3 years ago and you walked into the vape shop and you're getting a starter kit with 0.3 ohm coils and a 200 watt device, vaping 3 milligram nicotine, I can see how that could dissuade people. But I mean, Phil, what you were talking about quitting with a 510, that's how I quit smoking cigarettes, with 18 milligram free-based nicotine e-liquid, and that's actually what I use now at a much lower wattage. And that's satisfying for me. I mean, Demetrius, you asked about the Juul and the nicotine level. It's if you can characterize something as too satisfying,
yeah,
and that being
analogy.
a problem,
yeah,
that's my feel. I remember the first time I ever tried a Juul or some of these other nicotine salt products, and this was, a Vapor Flask never left my hand at the time, so I was constantly vaping. But I was sitting down the first time I ever tried a Juul type product, and I stood up and had to sit back down. I was so lightheaded.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that our society is going to continue to weigh. Products that are extremely effective for smokers to quit, but just given the amount of nicotine it's delivering into the blood system, is that positive?
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a very big struggle, and that balance needs to be found. I mean, we have to find that balance, Charlie, and I think this is something I talked with the legislators today. It's like, where we find the balance, we cannot allow the uptake in youth usage to deter adults from smoking this product. So there has to be some kind of a balance. And in my opinion, it all goes to the point of sale. I mean, that's where it basically boils down, which the government is not doing a great effective job at controlling at this point. But I do agree with you. It's something that's maybe way too good that is also causing initiation. And that is a problem that we have to address as an industry. And I think that we're all taking our heads and putting it in the sand, and we're not addressing trying to find that balance. All we were is like, don't regulate us, and that's not going to work in today's society.
Yeah, it's a category of never would have been smokers that you really have to pay attention to.
Correct.
In the initiation, as you're saying, but I do think that the 3%, the 3% Juul pods, and also seeing some lower nicotine strengths, I think that's headed in the right direction. We've tried these side by side, and I think the 3%, while still a lot of nicotine, I think is getting closer to hopefully hopefully a solution for that problem.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Charlie, one of the things that we're going to talk about here tonight, Charlie, one of the things that we're going to talk about here tonight is the Tobacco 21. Okay, what's your opinion on that? On raising the smoking and the vaping age to 21 years old?
so that's a much larger discussion. I mean, I think with drinking, smoking, gambling, if we can send our kids toward 18, they should be able to smoke and drink or do whatever they want at 18.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Does that truly make a difference? I mean, I think what's the most shocking, some of the shocking statistics coming out are of people who are much younger than 18 using some of these products, and it's not a question whether or not you're 21 or 18, but are you 14 or 15 in middle school using these products? And I'm not sure if moving the smoking age to 21 solves that. I'm not sure if there's any empirical evidence that will have an impact.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I tell you what, I am sure. I am quite sure that it will do absolutely nothing. Okay. Because if we cannot prevent and stop the point of sale to a 14 or a 15-year-old, if you raise the age to 21, it will do absolutely nothing.
I agree.
Absolutely nothing.
I agree.
Right.
Well, I mean, are we gonna prohibit online? You talk about point of sale, but are we gonna prohibit online sales as well?
No, but there's a way to verify age online. It's just a little bit more costly, and some vendors don't want to pay it. I mean, that's what it basically boils down to me. I mean, wine is being sold online, so why can't we do it with vapor products as well too?
Right. No, I agree with that.
So I'm basically saying is that we need to do a better. This is what I preach to the legislators today. You want to pass a bill to protect the kids? Work with us. Let us sit down and figure out exactly how these kids are getting them, and then we're going to find the right legislation to keep them away. But just raising, this trigger, what I call trigger legislation, raising the age or taxation on these products is definitely not the solution. It's not going to solve anything as far as the kids are concerned. We spent too much time on it. Charlie, thanks so much for calling. Hope to see you soon. We have to have drinks, man. We had a lot of fun in China.
Definitely keep doing what you're doing. I love it, guys, and enjoying watching your shows too. Have a great night.
Thank you, Charlie. You do the same.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate you calling in, Charlie. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a long time, but Charlie's borderline OG. I have a funny Charlie story. The first time I met Charlie, when I got the Vapor Flask, he was so concerned about that review. And like every day he would email me and like ask me questions. Do I like it? This, that, and the other thing. And I was at a vape convention, and I was talking to a gentleman who was directly in front of me, and there was another gentleman directly to my side. And I was using a Vapor Flask at the time. And the guy said, well, what do you think about the Vapor Flask? I said, I like the device. I said, but oh my God, the guy behind it, man, he's like hounded me about the review and about how I like it and about this, that, and the other thing. His name is Charlie from Vapor Flask. And I turn next to me and I go to shake that guy's hand. And I said, how you doing? And he says, good. I'm Charlie from Vapor Flask.
That's great. That's a great story. That's fantastic. Thank you, Charlie. Have a wonderful. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks a lot. There you go, everybody. Charlie from what was known as the Vapor Flask. And listen, let me tell you, just to round up this T21 so we don't have to cover it afterwards. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, when we're talking about harm reduction, and any type of harm reduction, whether it's opiates, whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, when we're talking about harm reduction, there is no age. There is no age. I don't agree with 18. You want to raise cigarettes to 21? Go ahead. It's a deadly product. I am against raising, and I'm going to continue. I don't give a what Juul says or what Altria says or what everybody says. I do not agree with Tobacco 21 because it's a reduced harm, and reduced harm knows no age. All right, quickly, Phil. We're running out of time, Phil. Always, we always do this. We don't stay. We don't.
10:30 already.
We don't stay. We don't stay on track. So we got a couple of telephone calls. I'd rather take them, and if we have to bypass something else, that's fine. Let's get with the phone calls first. Do you agree?
I agree.
716, you are on the air with Phil and Demi, and afterwards I'm going to take a 416. 716, who you are and where are you calling from?
716.
I'm Nathan Muntz, and I'm calling from Jamestown, New York.
Oh, what's up, Nathan? All the way from Jamestown, New York. How you doing tonight?
Oh, Nathan.
I'm doing pretty good.
So what's your? Do you have any question or comment?
I'm just calling because I've been vaping for a while now, since like the 510 era of vaping, and all of a sudden I started I can't vape anymore. It chokes me and coughs me really bad, and I don't know what to do about it. I've tried different pods, I've tried different tanks, and I just don't know what to do about it.
So what were you using before and you weren't having any problem?
Well, I was using Siren 2. And I had no problem with that. And all of a sudden, I just started coughing real bad with it.
And nothing changed in your pattern, the type of liquid, the type that you build, or the cotton that you were using, or the wire that you were using. Everything was the same?
Yep.
Phil?
Stumped.
Yeah, I'm stumped as well, too. The one thing that I can tell you is, are you sure that your cotton is saturated constantly when you're using these products? Because that's one thing that can make you cough, is if your cotton dries up and you continue to vape. It's something that used to happen to me in the Cardo day when the Cardo was over and I vaped it a little bit more, and it would create that scratchy throat. Are you sure that it's not dry?
Yep. I can go a week without even having to change my cotton in it, and it's not burn or nothing when I change it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you start coughing, right?
Yep.
What's the e-liquid you're using?
I actually mix my own. I only do like a 2 milligram nicotine, and I just put some flavoring in it and call it good. Same stuff I've been using for a while now.
So the PG, the VG, the flavoring, the nicotine, it's all exactly the same.
All the same. My nicotine stays in the freezer. It's, I don't know what to do about it. It's been driving.
Have you tried to buy any liquid off the market to use?
Sorry.
Have you tried to buy any market off the market? I'm just regular liquid that's pre-mixed to use to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I've used. There's a shop here called. I'm not even going to name them, but there's a shop here in town I've tried, and it still makes me cough and everything.
Wow, I'm stumped on that. I really
Let me ask you this: Are you smoking at all anymore, or are you just vaping?
I'm actually back to smoking full time right now because of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you tried like pre-built coils, like instead of building yourself? Have you tried? We'll say like when you vaped, how did you vape? Did you vape direct lung? Did you vape mouth to lung?
Oh, you used Siren, so it has to be mouth to lung, right?
It was mouth to lung, yeah.
Well, it was a restricted lung, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of, Phil, is maybe just send him a couple of new things to try out. Maybe some pre-built coils. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But
yeah. And let's do that. Let's do that. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let's get something out to you. And you said you were pretty low nic when you were vaping?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you notice your consumption? Did you notice your consumption went up? The amount of liquid that you were using, did you notice that changed?
Yeah. No, not recently. No. I've been at 3 to 6 mil for a while now.
So you were vaping between 3 to 6 mils a day? That's it?
Oh, no. 3 milligram nicotine.
Oh, okay. How much were you vaping in a day? Do you know? Do you know how many mils approximately you were vaping in a day?
2 to 3 tanks of the Siren.
Yeah, I get you. So I think that maybe between 6 and 12, Phil, on a Zenith tank or something like that, a mouth to lung setup that gives you can do a little bit of a restrictive on it as well too. Maybe we would try something like that.
What was your flavor preference while you were vaping?
Right now I was on a kick. I was using what was that? A cinnamon Danish flavor.
Okay.
And that was pretty good.
Yeah. I just to put some comments from the chat, people are saying maybe, you developed a PG allergy, which I just don't think that kind of grows on you. Also, another thing is if you were drinking a lot of water, so you didn't dehydrate, if that was causing it as well too. These are all good suggestions, but the coughing and all that, I just don't think that any would cause any of that, But yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
Like right now, if I were to take a vape or take a hit off the vape, I would cough so bad I almost pass out.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is odd. Any other, like, we're certainly not doctors on this show, but any other health issues or anything else that you've noticed?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually going to be going to see an allergy specialist about it just to make sure it's not like it, something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
So,
but Nathan, contact Phil on Facebook. Send him a message. Tell him who you are. Let's just try to get a couple things out there for you to start testing out and see if we can bypass this. Also, very, very important is that, even if you cough, go slowly a little bit because the restrictive lung a little bit, when you're trying to direct lung it, just try to go like you're using the cigarette. Just try to do it into your mouth and then inhale it in a mouth-to-lung type setup to kind of stop that complete bypassing when you're taking that air directly into you. So let's try a couple of that. Let's get a little bit of high VG, maybe 12 milligram feel liquid, and see how it goes. The only thing that we can do is try. Unfortunately, I can't help you anymore as far as the medical diagnosis on it. I'm not a doctor, neither is Phil, even though he does play one sometimes in the hotel rooms with me. But let's just try that, Nathan. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, Nathan. One of the other things that I was going to suggest, and I see it coming up in the chat now, is cinnamon can be harsh at times too, depending on what kind of cinnamon flavor that you're using. Yeah. Another thing too is even though you are getting all your materials for DIY from the same source, that's not to say that wherever you were buying them from, even if it came in the same bottle, that they didn't switch the supplier where they got it from too, right? So let's try a different device. Let's try a couple different e-liquids.
It's the same stuff. Yeah, but what Phil is saying is that a flavor supplier generally does not make flavors.
No. What I'm saying is it's out of the same bottle.
Oh, out of the same bottle. Oh, okay, gotcha. Maybe it's sat around too long. Flavorings, do develop bacteria if you just keep them, out for a year. Flavorings are living organisms, and they blend and they continue to grow. That might be another. Just get smaller bottles next time. Don't keep something for a couple of years. Definitely not flavoring for a couple of years.
No. Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah,
I'll try some different flavors.
It could be the cenaldehyde. Cenaldehyde is in the cinnamon flavors as well too. You might have developed some kind of a rash or not rash, but the word what I'm trying to find, not even allergy, but some kind of allergic reaction to the cenaldehyde that's in cinnamon as well too. That's a possibility as well. So maybe we'll try a couple of different new flavors, and in a mouth to lung setup, maybe that'll be able to help you, Nathan.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Nathan, one more question for you. Did you try Nick Salt at all?
Yeah.
You did?
Yes, I actually didn't know about the whole Juul thing, and I have a Juul, so I did try that.
Yeah, but something lower, maybe like a 20 milligram salt. We have some 20 milligram salts. Maybe we send you some of that to try, not that 50 high stuff. We'll send you a couple possibilities of liquid that you can try out and see if one of these is going to solve the issue. And then, give us a call back and let us know after you receive it and you vape it how it goes. And, maybe I can reach out to Dr. F or somebody else and give us a second opinion on it as well, too.
All righty.
All right, Nathan, have a wonderful evening, brother. They're in New York. Boy, they're having a hard time there in New York, man. The legislation is absolutely killing them. All right, 416, you're on the air with Phil and Demi. What's up?
Well, hello, gentlemen. It's Pam.
Hi, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
Well, I waited 25 minutes for this call.
Listen, good things come to those that wait. You know that,
tonight.
Pam. You know that.
Hey, Pam, if we were doing the show
I beg your
live from
pardon?
your house, you wouldn't have to wait at all.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I mean, at the time that I called, I was like right in there with the topic,
Yeah.
so I won't take a lot of your time. I wanted to thank you and your sponsors and Bill and Max from Lunar and of course Tom for everything. It's really been overwhelming. It's an extension of what you guys do every day, and I'm getting to feel a little bit of that reward. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, Pam, thank you for the kind words. Honestly, we couldn't do it without the sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. The thing is that we know that you are committed to helping these people quit smoking. That makes it more special because, we send stuff all the time. We don't know where it's going. I mean, for crying out loud, at least we know that you're doing something well. And like you said, you're an extension of our arm in places that we can't reach. So we appreciate it. And listen, we're very happy to do it. Phil?
Absolutely, Pam. I think you're doing a great job up there. This is what we do. This is why we do it. And to have people out like you out there, spreading the truth about vaping and helping other people with vaping, I think that's terrific. So you are absolutely going to get a lot of support from us and from other people in the community as well.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, what's 25 minutes waiting when you get to talk to the creamy, robust Italian stallion, Phil Busardo? I mean, really, what's 25 minutes, Pam? Think about that.
It's absolutely nothing. You're 100% right. But, it's very interesting, in context of the conversation, so as you know, I've been having all my smoking friends and vaping friends and come and learn something and, try some free stuff and it goes well with liquor and that's all you have to say. And it gets, a bunch of 50-year-old women in a room every time.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But, today I was going downtown for a meeting and I'm like, you know what, I'm sure there's smokers. So I just grabbed a bag and grabbed a bunch of stuff, and lo and behold, and I find a couple of smokers. And the first guy, he was just like, "You're going to give this stuff away for free?" And I'm like, "Well, if you're going to try it and give it an honest go of it, you bet." And they took it, and he's like, "I have one more person." And this woman, probably in her late 50s, and she comes in, she's like, "I've been trying, and and I went to the vape shop down the road. I'm going to show you what they gave me." And I'm like, and look, I've only been vaping for 6 months. I've learned a lot in that time, but I am by no means an expert. And that's her. Her name's actually Pam, funny enough. And she showed me a Falcon King tank on this massive mod, dual, 18650. She's vaping at 70 watts. She's like, "This does not help me get off of cigarettes."
Yeah.
She's like, I blow a big cloud, and I'm trying to understand. And so I gave her the Joytech Ego, the anniversary edition, and I showed her what to do. I filled it up. She's like, "Oh my gosh, this is like a cigarette." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, And I gave her I gave her 2 bottles of the juice that Tom had wonderfully sent to me, and and they were thrilled. And they're like, "We go to the store, and this isn't what they give us." And they try to, they ask us to spend $150 and sell us all these things, and we walk out of there and go buy a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, Pam, I'm glad that you're calling in and you're
goes to the
telling
problem.
people. Yeah, we totally agree with you, and we know that it's a struggle out there, and we're trying to change one shop and one mind at a time with our limited abilities, through this YouTube channel. But it's people like you that listen to us that are able to spread it out there that are really doing the hard work. So we appreciate
You know what?
it.
Think about this. Think about this. These 2 folks right here, okay? These 2 folks went to a vape shop. They went to the place where they were supposed to get help to get off of cigarettes. And that didn't work, but Pam worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
And that is part of our problem, folks. That's part of our problem is that these vape shops, they have a very, some of them, not all of them, but some of them have a very, very limited mindset. They want to sell you what's hype, what's new, what they like. And that's not the way to do things, right? You have to have conversation with your customers. You have to get them onto the right product for them, not for what you like, not for how you vape, but for the customer, for the smoker. And Pam, I think that's terrific where you succeeded where a vape shop failed.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the interesting thing of all of that, I mean, I'm the kind of person that I have to understand something. It's just the bottom line. It's everything in life. I can't just take somebody's word for it. I have to investigate. I have to research. And, you know, I was always the smoker in the room. I smoked a pack and a half of cigarettes a day for the last 30-plus years. I didn't care. I didn't care who was in my face. I smoked. You know, somebody told me to quit. I told them what I thought of them. But, you know, I had a close friend who quit smoking, and she was using this vape thing. I knew very little about it. I tried it. I'm like, okay, I still have no interest in quitting, but I want to understand more. And I went to a couple of vape shops, and to, you know, reiterate the point, they are not all the same. But I kept going. Like the first place that I went to, they didn't even know what I was talking about. They're like, oh, you know, we don't replace cigarettes. And I'm like, okay, see you later. And I went to the next store, and I went to 8 stores in the course of a weekend. And I, you know, you've probably seen my comments, you know, because I really like Shy and Dash Vapes. Like, he knows what he's doing. And, you know, it's like you said, does he make money at the end of the day? Yeah, he makes piles of it. But you know what? He actually cares, and he actually has a business model that works, and he helps people at the same time. And that's a huge thing. And when I walked into that store, they spent 2.5 hours with me, and I was probably their biggest nightmare because I kept asking questions, and I kept coming back, and I wanted to know more. And they were patient, and they explained things. And then, you know, I get on YouTube, and I find all these channels, and even amongst all of you, and I mean, believe me, Phil, I have watched every single one of your videos at this point. Aww. But even that, they're not all the same either.
Yeah.
You know, there is unfortunately a lot of bad information on YouTube also. But if you have the time and you have the patience and you weed through the crap, there's so much greatness out there. And it starts with the two of you. I mean, I know that, you know, you're both incredibly modest, and you do this, and you know, and you care, and at the, you know, and all of this, but I mean, it's remarkable, and don't shortchange yourselves, because you change lives every single day.
Thank you, Pam. I don't know what else we could say past that.
That's it. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Pam, thanks a lot for calling in. That's very humbling, your words, and we certainly appreciate it. And listen, keep doing what you're doing. We're always going to be here to support you, and keep having those parties. And maybe one day we'll be privileged enough to come and hang out with you guys.
You guys are welcome in Toronto anytime. It's really nice here in the summer.
Yes, well, we're supposed to be there in May, early May, so we'll make it happen. If we're gonna come up for, we're coming up for some meeting in Toronto early May, so we'll hit you up, and maybe we'll have a live smoker show from your house.
Well, that'd be fabulous.
All right, thanks Pam. Have a great one. There she goes. So
Pam,
lovely.
thank you so much. You know, that's there you go. I mean,
just makes everything.
That's why I do what I do.
Yeah, I do to hear people tout that they've watched all your videos. That's why I do what I do. No, I'm just kidding. Does Pam have a channel?
Let me just apologize to Pam for all of the time that I've taken up in her life watching those videos.
Yeah, Pam really needs to get Netflix. Is what she needs to do. But question: does Pam have a channel on YouTube? No, I don't think so. But that'd be a great idea for her to start up, especially with all the people that they have there. When is Inikin going to come up with a 316 stainless steel coil? Soon. That's all I can tell. I you know, it's not up to our hands, folks. I mean, it really isn't. We don't own Inikin, so I just want to clarify that.
I will say this though, we are headed to China very, very shortly here, and that is one of the things on our list. Okay, how about that?
Comment from Addy Tooney. Addy, how you doing, buddy? I love you. That's a great guy from your part of the neck of the woods, upstate New York. Breeze Tones is a vaping advocate from Australia. I would love for you to have a conversation. I know of Breeze Tones. I follow him on Instagram. And yes, he does a wonderful job. And maybe we'll have him on the show here one time and talk to the struggles. Because, man, talk about struggle. Australia and being a vapor in Australia is a struggle. So, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Addy. And we'll definitely look into it. Maybe I'll hit him up on Instagram and see if we can bring him on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, Phil, quickly, we're running out of time. It's 10:53 already. Time flies when we have fun. So we can't. We'll leave the myths and facts for the next episode.
Yeah.
And we also we talked about the Tobacco 21. I do want to bring this up because this is very, very important. Very, very proud of this. Listen, we go to shows all the time. Don't get me wrong. Me and Phil go to shows, way too many shows all through the year and for the last 5-6 years. The last 2-3 years, I don't even know if I should say this, but. And please don't take it the wrong way. There's shows that me and Phil wake up in the morning and we just don't want to go in. We just don't want. It's the same thing over and over, recycling the same customers, the same marketing, the same products. And we lose the desire to do what we do when we get caught up in that. Okay? Please don't take it the wrong way. But again, I have to be honest. And I'm glad that in 2019, not only with what we're doing with the Back to Basics seminar for the vape shops, which I think has been very, very successful and a lot of people, in the business appreciated, we're seeing it come back in some shows. And the two that we're going to talk about today are the next two that we're doing this. The first one, of course, is in Las Vegas. And this group here, the Wave group, is actually the ECC guys. The ECC guys that, after a couple of shows at ECC, both me and Phil stopped going to the ECC shows, even though we're invited every year. I have to say that to Vin and CJ. We stopped going to the ECC shows because they're shit shows. I mean, I'm sorry. The shows were out of control. There was absolutely no substance. And at the end of the day, they don't match what me and Phil do, if that makes any sense to you. The crowd that we try to attract and who we're trying to preach, unfortunately, is not at these shows. So we stopped going.
To be fair,
I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible.
That's a lot of shows at this point, right?
Yeah, right.
That don't
It's
necessarily match our
So
focus, right?
If you don't see us at a show, most likely that's the reason why we're not going to go. But Vin and CJ hit me up. They saw me in Las Vegas, and then they hit me up again, and they invited me to this new show that they're putting on. And this, of course, like many shows now, is a hybrid show, meaning it's a vape and wellness. That's why it's called the Wave. Wellness and vape. And the thinking behind here, of course, they're going to have CBD and they're going to have vape exposition in Las Vegas. This is going to take place May 10th and 11th at the Westgate Hotel in Las Vegas. And he invited us because, we always talk about advocacy and we talk about that. But, let's be honest, advocacy at these shows is very, very difficult. It's just very difficult. You get on the stage, the same people listening. Most likely the people that are there know, the struggles that we're having. We have the opportunity here, something to do for vape shops that it's kind of hard for us to do the Back to Basics seminar. If you have a single vape shop or, two vape shops, it's hard for me and Phil to fly out and educate your employees. So we generally do it for chains that can bring in 20, 30 employees and managers and all that. So what they decided to do is for us to put it on at the show for vape shop owners that are going to be there and for chain vape shop owners that are going to be there. You can come and look at our presentation. We're going to cut it down to about an hour. It's Q&A. It's interactive. It talks a lot about what we talked about on the show today. Your appearance of your vape shop, how you're going to bring more customers, how to make it more profitable, how to increase your customer base, how do you keep your customers loyal, some of the products and the hardware and the liquid that you're going to need. So we're very excited for the opportunity, and at the end of the day, we're giving it another shot. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, guess what? I'll be back here telling you that it just didn't work out. But we want to give it another chance, and we believe in second chances and believe in the opportunity, so we're going to be there. Very, very excited. The next show, this is May 10th and 11th in Vegas. And then the next show that we're going to go feel, this is the doozy. This is something I've been waiting for all year, right?
The land of schnitzel.
The land of schnitzel. The first what? What is this? The first smoker show live for the first time ever live. So what are we gonna do at the Hall of Vape and our good buddy Ira that puts on a tremendous show in Europe every year? What are we gonna do there, Phil?
We're doing the smoker show. I mean, I know there's like a little bit of confusion that like people think that we're just going to broadcast live from Germany and we're just going to do the show from Germany. No, I mean, what's the purpose of the smoker show? The purpose of the smoker show is to introduce people to vaping and get smokers off of cigarettes, right? That's what we're going to be doing there. So Ira is actually targeting smokers and giving passes to smokers. And when people come into the show, the first thing that they're going to see is our booth. We're going to be there with volunteers, with German speaking people, and it's our goal to get people excited and interested.
90 seconds.
Go ahead.
And also to answer questions before they walk into a massive show like the Hall of Vape, and they get very, very overwhelmed, right? So, I mean, the purpose of what we're doing there is to convert smokers. You remember back in the day, I mean, like all of the shows, it was like stomp your pack of cigarettes, and, it was about people helping other people, smokers being inviting, and we've kind of lost that a little bit. And I'm really excited that our next, really kind of our next two shows, we're being allowed to
do what we do.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, in one show we're going to do the workshop, and in another show we're going to do the smoker show. So I'm really thrilled and excited about that, and I would love to see more shows kind of pick up on this idea a little bit.
I think the key here is that even in the shows that still kind of do it, you walk in, they give you a kit, and they tell you to go on. The difference between that and what we're doing is we want to give you a brief 10, 15-minute education on vaping. Make sure that we show you what we're giving you, find the right liquid for you, pair you up, and then put you along with a vapor that knows about vaping and kind of walk you through the event as well, too. Because you're going to walk in, you're going to see some stuff that's going to be like, you know, like we do. You walk into some shows and you're like, what is this? So, but we want people to be with them, to walk them through the process for them to understand vaping. We're very, very lucky. I've reached out to some German vapors and reviewers. We're going to have volunteers there. They're all going to be wearing the same T-shirt that the kindly 𝗬𝗓 is providing for us, the space and a lot of the marketing material for this. Number one. Number two, you know what he's doing? He's going around Stuttgart and these bars and coffee shops, and he's giving away passes, free passes to people that he sees with cigarettes. He's giving away lighters.
Lighters, yeah.
That have the show on the lighter. So every time that you're lighting your cigarette with that lighter, you're going to see, oh, you know, June 1st, I might just go and try what this vaping is all about. And our sponsors, you know, all the sponsors that see down here will have product over there at the booth that we're going to be able to give to a person live. And we're going to broadcast this. We're going to do Facebook Lives. We're going to do YouTube on Phil's channel live from over there. I'll try to have a small rig with me or something that's going to be able to make it work. But again, the key here is we're so happy and so excited to be able to. This is going to be the first one. When we announced it, a few shows jumped up and said, we want to do it as well, too. But no, we're going to give it to 𝗬𝗓 first because he deserved it. We started talking about it last year. And hopefully it's successful, and we're going to see it in other shows. And hopefully you have your own smoker shows. If we can't make it, there's nothing wrong with you guys stepping up out there and doing your own smoker shows. So I'm really, really excited. Can you tell how excited I am about that?
Yeah, I know you're excited, and it's good to see you excited. It's good to see you happy, especially after your rant today. You know, if I have to sit there all day long and show 100 people how to prime a coil,
yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And hopefully our goal is to convert 50 smokers at the show. Hopefully it's 250. But we're setting a small goal, and if we can convert 5, if we can convert 1, it's worth a trip. I'll be honest with you. You can change somebody's life. But our goal is to convert 50 smokers in Germany, and hopefully those 50 will trigger another 50 and another 50, and just like we used to do it back in the day, man. That's what it's all about. And I think that system worked a whole lot better than having a stripper pole at a booth. There, I said it.
Totally agree. Totally agree with you, Dimitri.
Drop mic. I can't drop it. It's an expensive microphone.
You know, like Pam was just talking about how she went to like 8 different vape shops, and then she found one that took the time to spend with her and ask the right questions. And you know, think about how many more people Pam is going to send to that shop.
Yeah.
Not to the other 8 shops.
Yeah.
Right. And if you convert somebody, they're with you, man. They're dedicated.
Customers for life. Well, I mean, even if it's not for life, but you know, it's always going to be in her mind that this shop helped me, and she's going to send a lot of business there as well too, which is what the vape shops are. They just don't get that concept. So anyway, briefly, well, we're running out of time. What else did we want to cover? I think let me look at the at my cheat sheet here.
We're officially out of time.
We're out of time, so we'll do the you know, we're going to show you the beep a little bit and do some Q&A, but I guess we're going to do it next on the next show, which I don't know when it's going to be.
I don't either.
We're going to be in China, by the way, next Tuesday night. Well, by the way, let me put this in. Next Sunday, Phil is coming here to my house, which is really exciting. And we're going to go do the Back to Basics seminar for Rocky Top Vapor in their stores. And then Monday, he's going to play poker in my basement. Hopefully, we're going to take his money. And then Tuesday morning, we're leaving for China. And we'll be gone until April the 21st.
So maybe we'll do one the 23rd. We're going to miss the next one because we'll be in China, but we can do one the 23rd.
Yeah. And if we get a good internet connection from China, maybe we'll do something on Facebook. Maybe we'll try to do something from there as well too. Internet in China is really, really sketchy. It's kind of like Cape Coral, very, very slow. So if we do have a good connection, maybe we'll do something. If not, just look for April the 23rd for the next smoker show.
Yes.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
absolutely. We're gonna have a lot to talk about too when we get back.
Yeah. Definitely, we want to talk about our newest sponsor, which I want to bring you up now. Phil doesn't know nothing about this. This is just a new sponsor that came on board, and congratulations, Phil. This was a big catch for us. So enjoy.
I already know where this is going.
And we have a late entry named Mr. Quigley.
Is he wearing running shoes?
It is legal, I believe.
And they're off. It's Queen's Hurricane out front. Silver Prince on his heels. But wait, Mr. Quigley is coming around the outside. Look at that little guy go. It's gonna be Quigley. What?
Let's do it.
He's walking across the finish line.
The new midfoot strike Skechers Go Run. Go like never before.
You mean you want a new contract?
Very, very exciting times for the Skechers family. Welcoming Phil 𝗵𝗂 to this.
That's
I swear
great.
to God,
I did not know that was coming, guys.
If everybody in this chat sends Skechers an email and saying you're getting tons of publicity, man, I would literally die laughing if Skechers ever contacted Phil for a sponsorship opportunity. He wears them too. I would never accept it because I would never wear Skechers. But I'm saying is that Phil would accept it. It would be such a great thing. And it would be really funny. It would make for a really good funny skit as well too. That's all. Said it all.
That's it, guys. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you bring a smoker along next time. We've got tons of product to give away, and the product is designed to get you guys off of cigarettes. So we appreciate it, and there's a reason why we do #Smokers Wanted, because that's what the show is all about. The show is not about bringing the next generation. This show is not about people who don't smoke and don't vape, but this show is about people who smoke and they are looking for a healthier way to get their nicotine. Welcome to tobacco harm reduction. Thanks everybody for watching tonight.
And don't forget, closing statement from me, #beeping. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Have a wonderful